Posey,
No,
try.
it's my turn.
It's my turn.
No, you did
Guys,
not.
come on, we're recording.
No,
Oh
it's
God.
my turn.
Look,
Yes.
let's just go into it. Before I go into my story, I need you to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. Turn those post notifications on so that way you can stay in the Posey Gang family, and that way you know when the baby comes. But here we go. Whew. Difficult to share with the world. So, my coming out story wasn't really my choice. Um, I was outed to my mom, and it was one of the most. It was one of the most traumatizing experiences. One of. I've had a long life of my life. I was in high school, of course, and I was in that weird middle stage where you're kind of like a femme, but you're stud, kind of dressing weird, whatever. Um, and a lot of my friends knew because of course they're your friends, they know you. Um, and I went to school in Chicago on the South Side. I went to Hyde Park. Anybody who's ever went to Hyde Park knows the culture of Hyde Park. Um, we had this acting assistant principal. So he wasn't the assistant principal. He was the acting assistant principal until we found one because we were like in the transition or some shit like politics. Um, but he was very inappropriately flirtatious with the students, like bad, like real bad. And you would normally ignore it. You wouldn't say anything. You're a student. You look like snitching on a teacher. Uh, until one time he just made a comment that just got ridiculously out of hand about how nice my legs were. And to a 15, 16-year old, that's not cool at all. You're someone who is supposed to protect them. You know, the parents are trusting you to make the wisest decisions for them and to not, catcall them on their way to class. You're literally catcalling on my way to class. And so I complained about it. I told my mom if it had to be that bad for me to tell my mom anything because my mom she's a very unique person. And so she did what any parent should do. She went to the school and she complained about it. She's like, I don't like the way you're talking to my daughter like that. That's inappropriate. And he was like, oh, that's okay. It's just because Miss Posey's gay. And that was a defining moment in my young adult life. I looked at my mom and her eyes were just like fury and fire. I took off my glasses and she punched the shit out of me right there in the office with the guy who would catcall me on my way to class. Like it was pretty bad. So I ran out of the school and I went home because at that time I lived with my dad. He lived around the corner from the school, and my dad also worked at my school. So I don't know why my life was in shambles like that. To have to have the resources I was supposed to have. My mom came to my dad's house and she beat the fuck out of me outside of my dad's apartment. And nobody stopped her. Nobody saved me. Nobody came to help. Not even my dad. He told me I had to go with her. So I went upstairs, cleaned my face off, packed my bag, and spent the next 24 hours listening to how I would be damned and I'm ruining my family. And all of a sudden, my family's religious out of nowhere. They were never religious before, but now, because I'm gay, we're Christians or Jehovah's Witnesses. I don't know what we were, but I spent that next 24 hours on a complete emotional guilt trip about how I was killing my mom and ruining her life after all she's done for me. And I need to read the Bible I think she had to find one. I don't think we would own one. Like, it was one of those little pocket-sized Bibles. It was probably like my grandma's. And the next day, I went back to my dad's house. But every day after that, going to school, the guys on the block would call me Dykes and say I just needed the right dick. I just needed some good dick to fix me. Every day. For the next 3 years of high school. Every day. It was hard. But I made it. And I'm about to be a mom, dad, or a dad or a mom, whatever. I'm about to be a parent soon. And it makes me really think about my kid is going to do something that I personally might not agree with, but would I want to do that type of long-term damage to the point that they hate themselves, or they try suicide or drugs, or turn to people who don't have their best intentions at mind to help them, to look for family, to feel included, or that you belong to somebody instead of being black sheep and put out on a curb just because I don't agree with it. Like, I'm going to try to be the best parent I can be and navigate them through this world, because the world isn't fair. And sometimes nobody will save you, and you have to save yourself. But I want them to know that I'll always still be there. Like, really be there, not just say I'll be there. Yeah, I think I'll be a great dad, mom, Maddie. Anyway, thanks for listening. This is Posey's coming out story.
Hey, and then your daddy said, but you ain't tryna hear that shit. You ain't tryna hear that shit. Then your mama said, hey, and then your daddy said, but you ain't tryna hear that shit. Nah, you ain't tryna listen.